Hi, good evening. Steve Adler. You got a minute? We're not going to be long tonight. We're going to go through some numbers, a couple of the dashboards, and then just recognize the holiday and the holiday month that is going on right now. Let's begin with the numbers. Let's look at the first dashboard. Hospitalizations down to 5. It's hard to remember when we had 5 in hospitalizations. That's a pretty dramatic number, and it's a number that really does stand as a measure of what this community can do when it stays disciplined. I know I harp way much on wearing masking and social distancing, but the only difference between this number 5 and where we were back in June with numbers that were going up is that kind of behavior. The virus is no more or less infectious. It's that we're doing a better job, not just one of us, but so many of us. If the virus doesn't have the opportunity to jump from person to person, it just can't jump. So 5 hospitalizations, great number. 7-day moving average is 14. Look at the right side of that graph. You can see 142 cases today. That number is higher than our 7-day moving average of 128. We talked about this yesterday. That number is higher than what we had been seeing, and that could mean several different things. It could mean that the number of cases are going up in reflection of Labor Day, students coming back, 40,000 people that showed up in Austin as guests when the hurricane hit the valley and the Gulf Coast. It could be those things. We also have gotten a dump of information from the state, and it looks like we're now getting cases that might have arisen or been tested 14 days ago. So again, the data is imperfect with respect to cases. We're struggling to make it as real and as meaningful as we can possibly do. But it's one of the reasons why your city, recognizing that might eventually be the case, chose to rely so much on hospitalizations because we knew that was a more objective number. But in any event, the cases are going up, and the cases could be going up without hospitalizations going up. If, as we saw is the case yesterday, the bulk of new cases in our city are young people between the ages of 10 and 29. We're trying to check right now to see that 10 to 19 number to see if that's high school students or middle school students, new students in college. So we're trying to learn more about those numbers, but it looks like a younger population is getting it. That younger population does not translate into hospitalizations the same way, but we need to watch that because those younger people are just as infectious and they can pass the illness on. These numbers are good. If we can keep these numbers down, we can continue to open up the economy and sustain it, continue to bring more people into our schools. And that's the advice and kind of suggestion that Dr. Escott is sharing now to make sure that those opportunities exist so long as we maintain the discipline in the community. Let's look at the second page on the deal, on the dashboard. 74 people tonight in the hospital. That's also is a low number. The 7-day moving average is 89. 29 people in the ICU, 7-day moving average 35. 14 people, low number on ventilators. 20 is the 7-day moving average. So those numbers all come down, recognizing that the cases we're getting now are disproportionately younger people, which are not ending up as much in that situation. We should be proud of what we've done. We also have to remind ourselves constantly that many other cities have gotten to where we are right now, only to see their numbers go back up because people think we have this thing licked, it's gone away, the virus isn't here anymore. None of those things are true. 413 people passed away. That's one more person than yesterday. Always important to recognize that number. All right, that's all we're going to do with respect to the virus today. We're not even going to talk about the city council. We will recognize that today is Mexican Independence Day, and also we are at the beginning of the Hispanic Heritage Month. It's important that we celebrate this culture and this community that is a part of who we are in this city. This is a community that really has taken on the brunt of this virus, and we've seen that in the disproportionate numbers. We still see that in disproportionate hospitalizations in this community. We've talked about the disparities going back historically that have laid the groundwork for the comorbidities, the other health aspects that come from generations of not having healthy food or access to everything in the community to which those communities should have had access to, and over generations, how that leaves many people in that community more susceptible to the virus, compounded by the fact that many people in this community are our economic first responders. They were out making sure that the grocery stores were operating and stocked. There are healthcare workers. They couldn't stay home, and they were out and taking the risks for them and their families. So it's probably especially important that this time in this pandemic, that we really do take a moment to let our Hispanic neighbors, the Hispanic community, know that that you are a community that is incredibly important to who we are as a city in the community. The Hispanic culture and food and history in Austin is very much Austin's food and culture and history. This is a community that in short order will be a majority of the community here in Austin. And that history and that progress in this time of change is something that we celebrate, and we recognize that the strengths in the community, the ability to be able to adapt in ways long term, as well as recently associated with the virus. We're thankful in a city like Austin, where the Hispanic businesses form such a huge component of the small businesses that we have in this community that really serve as the ground level economic engines of our city. So at a time and in a period when a community has had such trials, it's important for us to take this moment to recognize how wonderful we are in no small part because of this part of who we are. So happy Mexican Independence Day, happy Hispanic Heritage Month. A special greeting to my friend, the mayor of Saltillo, Manolo Jimenez Salinas. I've met a lot of mayors from around the world, had that opportunity over the last 6 years, and Manolo is one that I am closest to. Enjoy this great holiday today and the rest of the month. You all take care, good night, and be safe.